Good morning, everyone. For today's discussion, we will talk about the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. But before we start our discussion for today, let's read first our learning objectives. So, at the end of the discussion, students are expected to 4K explain the provisions of the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers from Article 5 to 8, focusing on teachers' duties towards the profession, higher authorities, school officials, and learners. Now, in S, students are expected to apply the ethical principles from Article 5 to 8 in analyzing classroom and school scenarios, demonstrating appropriate decision making aligned with professional standards. Now, in A, students are expected to demonstrate respect, fairness, and accountability by actively participating in a 10 minutes group activity where each student will share at least one of their personal commitment they will apply in their future teaching practices, reflecting on the importance of upholding the code of ethics for professional teachers. Good day, everyone. Today we will discuss the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers, specifically Article 5 to 8, as set by the Professional Regulation Commission in 1997. So, understanding these articles helps us uphold professionalism and integrity in our teaching practice, which ultimately benefits our learners and the school community. Now let's talk about Article 5, the teacher and the profession. So focuses on the teacher's responsibility towards the profession and colleagues. In Section 1, it emphasizes professional loyalty and cooperation. For example, if a colleague struggles with using a new learning management system, instead of criticizing, you can offer guidance or share tips to help them succeed. While in Section 2, it reminds teachers not to claim work that is not their own. For instance, if you use a lesson plan or teaching material created by a co-teacher, acknowledge them shows honesty and respect. So in Section 3, it requires teachers to organize records before leaving a position, such as preparing grade sheets or lesson plans for a replacement teacher, of course. Now let's talk about Section 4 to 6, which cover confidentiality and addressing unprofessional conduct responsibility. For example, if you notice a colleague sharing exam answers improperly, you should report it through proper channels with solid evidence and not to gossip them. Now let's talk about Section 7, which allows teachers to apply for positions fairly, ensuring all qualified candidates are given a chance. While in Article 6, the teacher and higher authorities in the profession deals with relationships with school administration. Section 1 reminds teachers to support school policies even if they have personal opinion. So, for example, if the school implements a new grading system, teachers must follow it consistently for all students. In Section 2, warns against making false accusations against superiors. In Section 3, it highlights transacting official matters properly. In Section 4, it allows teachers to raise grievances, but always in a way that doesn't affect the students' further learning. For instance, if a promotion process seems unfair to you, you can appeal through proper channels without creating classroom disruption, of course. Now let's talk about Section 5 and 6. Stress that appointments should be merit-based and accepting a position is a contractual obligation. Now let's talk about Article 7. School officials, teachers, and other personnel emphasizes collaboration. Section 1 calls for a professional courtesy and support from administrators. For example, so a principal can publicly acknowledge a teacher's innovative lesson plan during a meeting. In Section 2, it encouraged working together on policy changes. While in Section 3, it highlights supporting teachers' professional growth, such as sending them to workshops or conferences. While in Section 4 and 5, protect teachers from unfair dismissal and ensure proper employment procedures are followed. For instance, a school should not terminate a teacher without clear cause and proper notice, ensuring fairness. Now, let's talk about Article 8, the teacher and learners, which focuses on the students. Now, Section 1 gives teachers the right to determine grades fairly. Section 2 stresses impartiality. For instance, a teacher must grade all students based on their own performance, not because a student is a parent's favorite. Now in sections 4 and 5, it forbids accepting gifts in exchange for favors or unauthorized tutorials. Now let's talk about section 6, which requires evaluating students based on their merit. On section 7, it advises professional discretion in a sensitive teacher-student relationships. Now, in section 8, it prohibits corporal punishment, of course. And section 9, it reminds teachers to create conditions that supports learners' growth. For instance, offering extra guidance to a struggling student or helping them access resources, which demonstrates fairness and care. So in summary or overall, Article 5 to 7 of the Code of Ethics guide teachers to act professionally and responsibly towards the profession, authorities, colleagues, and learners. So following these principles ensures we maintain integrity, fairness, and a supportive environment, which is essential for effective teaching and learning. So that's all for today's discussion about the Code of Ethics for professional teachers.